Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, final practice for Sunday's big event is over, but we're getting ready for the Freedom 100. There are the cars already out on the starting grid. More on that in a moment. But first off, let's talk about what's coming up tomorrow on ESPN2. 2 hours celebrating Sunday's 90th running of the Indy 500. First at 6 p.m. Eastern, it's the Indianapolis 500 Festival Parade. Then at 7:30, it's Ready to Race with Sam Hornish, Dan Weldon, Danica Patrick, among others. It's all tomorrow night right here on ESPN2. Let's get a preview of the Freedom 100. Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Marty. These Indy Pro Series cars are the brainchild of Tony George. Now, 5 years ago, Tony said, we got to have a stepping stone series to develop the future IndyCar stars, drivers, and owners of tomorrow. So he developed this series. Less horsepower, much less expensive, but up-and-coming, talented young drivers like today's pole sitter here, Wade Cunningham, who's also the defending series champion. And Wade, congratulations on the pole at Indianapolis. What's it going to take to stay there today?
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to stay there all day, Doc. I think it's really going to come down to just timing the passes and being there at the end. Obviously, that's a bit of a cliche, but that's what you have to do.
Where do you pass here when you got to make the move on the final couple laps? Where should that move come?
Wherever it can come. If you got to force it, you got to. But the straights are so long that the draft is very effective, so I think it'll be quite easy to go for the lead later on in the race.
Hey, good luck today.
Thanks a lot.
Wade Cunningham, 21 years of age. He's last year's champion. And in fact, the top 8 drivers in the series point standings came back to run this series because they realized that this is a great way to step into IndyCar Series racing. Remember, 6 of these graduates are in Sunday's Indianapolis 500.
Thanks, Doc. You know, at age 21, you can cut your hair like Wade Cunningham. When you're my age, you're just lucky to have hair. We're going to have the start of the Freedom 100. Welcome back to Indianapolis. We're getting ready for the Freedom 100, but take a look at this. Dan Weldon has not seen this yet. This is a special helmet designed by JLF out of England. Of course, Dan with Richard the Lionhearted on the back, his country's flag, and then look at the yard of bricks down the center, and here the Borg-Warner trophy over on the left side. That is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. All right, let's talk about what's coming up Memorial Day weekend because it means the greatest spectacle in racing. Don't forget to join us here at the Brickyard for the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500 telecast presented by Capital One. You'll see it all Sunday, May 28th, noon on ABC TV. We're getting ready now for the Indy Pro Series race. As you can see, we've got about a lap and a half to the green. That's Bobby Wilson with our one onboard camera. He had a problem just a moment ago. That's why he's bolting up to his starting position. In fact, here it was as he was back.
And a report that he actually spun the car out on the warm-up.
Oh, and that's going to flat spot the tires?
Boy, that's embarrassing.
That's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing.
All right, let's take a look at our Klein Tools starting grid, and we'll show you. And you already talked and met Wade Cunningham, the 21-year out of Auckland, New Zealand. Alongside will be the 25-year-old Jay Howard. He's a rookie in the series. And then in row 2, it's Jaime Camara and Chris Festa. Let's get more on Jaime as we continue through the grid. Jerry?
Well, guys, Jaime Camara was the Brazilian driver who won this race a year ago from the pole. He led 4 times for 33 of the 40 laps. He won 2 races a year ago here and at Nashville. He won 3 poles. But the big story for Jaime Camara is now he has become the protege of Tony Kanaan, the 2004 IRL IndyCar Series champion. He'll have Tony Kanaan helping him throughout the afternoon. Tony has talked to him throughout the month of May. Jaime has followed Tony around through IndyCar qualifying and through Carb Day earlier today. So a pretty good guy to have in your box, Tony Kanaan. Jaime Camara going for 2 in a row here in the Freedom 100 in the Indy Pro Series.
All right, Doc, as you continue, as they continue to warm up on the final pace lap. They'll form up in rows of 2, unlike the traditional rows of 3. There's Jaime. And as they get ready for the start, let's take a look at the Lucas Oil key to the race.
One of the most important things here is drafting. This track is longer than any of these tracks these cars ever compete on. 5/8 of a mile straightaway. You have to be perfect coming out of turn 2 and turn 4 to get that run down the back stretch and the front stretch. Restarts also very important, especially if you've only got a couple of laps left to go. Get up through the gearbox. Do not miss a gear because you'll get passed by plenty of people if you don't. And patience, just like the Indy 500, you have to get to the end to have a chance to win this race, and you have to have a situation where you are there for the shootout.
Well, these cars don't have a lot of horsepower, 420 horsepower, about 6,700 RPM, so they got to keep them wound up.
Waiting for the rows to form up. They're coming out of turn number 4, and Wade Cunningham is well out in front. In fact, he's already got the hammer down. And the green flag has not come out yet, so we're going to find out. Yes, they are giving him the green flag. So interesting that Wade Cunningham took advantage and pulls away right at the start.
You know, you have to come down here and just get on the gas smoothly and make a nice smooth transition to the start line. And got to tell you, he's not going to be a favorite of all his other competitors once you go ahead and do that. But it is a race here at the Indianapolis 500 track, and everybody's watching. You want to win this event more than any other one, Rusty.
Scott, I'm surprised he got away with that, jumping at restart like that, because generally you throw a black flag or they wouldn't have started the race under those conditions.
Take a look at the battle for 4th there right now.
Important now when the car behind gets the run on the car in front to make sure that you get the draft and get an opportunity to pass going down the front. Cunningham is just starting to stretch his lead right now. He has to hit his marks perfectly all the way through, keep his foot flat on the gas. He's got clean air in front of him. There's obviously no traffic and probably will not run into any traffic here in these short 100 miles that they'll run.
Yeah, this is 40 laps. You don't take a pit stop here. If you pit, you might as well kiss your chances goodbye. So it's Cunningham, followed by Howard, then Jaime Camara in the top 3. Jerry, you've got more?
Guys, you might understand why Wade Cunningham's a little anxious to make that start a moment ago. He started the first race at Homestead Miami Speedway, and then on the eve of the second start of the year at St. Petersburg, Florida, he came down with an acute appendicitis and had to have surgery. He missed both those starts at St. Petersburg, so now last year's champion has only made one start here. He needs to win this race and make up some distance in a hurry in the pole standings. And oh, by the way, he said the guy he's worried about making the pass early on is Jay Howard, the guy that's closing in now some 4 or 5 car lengths back.
Thanks, Doc. As you tagged it, it's about the gap right now as Cunningham continues down the backstretch. You know, he won the title last year with 10 podium finishes, and only one of those was a win when he won at Fontana.
Scott, these engines are all the same in these cars. They don't turn much RPM, and these guys got to keep them wound up. This reminds me a little bit of the IROC racing I used to be involved in, where these guys, it's all about driver finesse. It's all about keeping the momentum and staying in the draft. You can tell there's a lot of slingshot going to happen in this race today. They're going to catch each other at the very end of the straightaways where most of the action is going to happen.
And watch what's going on now. Everybody's just sort of swapping places. And James Chesson, as part of the PJs in the Indy 500 field, he's actually starting to weave his way throughout the pack also.
Guys, we just got word from IndyCar officials. Phil Giebler, the number 4 car, the rookie for Guthrie Racing, he is going to get a black flag for passing too early on the start. Down the back straightaway. Everybody's sort of getting into single file now. Well, just as I say that, let's go 3 wide.
Isn't this a lot of fun for these guys to go down through the turn? Remember, these cars are just almost the same size as the Indy car, so 3 wide will not work going through the turn. But Marty, let me just sort of add on something you just mentioned a moment ago. On the initial start, you cannot pass the car in front of you until you cross the start line. On a restart, as soon as it goes green, you can certainly pass it any time on the racetrack. So that first initial start, wait until the line.
4 laps of 40 completed. Right now, it's Wade Cunningham running in front of Jay Howard and Jaime Camara. That's your top 3 here at the Freedom 100. Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, this is the Freedom 100, the Indy Pro Series. If you're analogy to baseball, this is AAA. This is one step below the big boys that will be running on Sunday. And right now it is Wade Cunningham and Jay Howard with Jaime Camara. Those are the top 3. You got them all on your screen right there.
Now, we had a report from down below from Doc Punch that the number 1 car of Cunningham is actually starting to have a push. Now, he is out in the lead, so he's by himself, and he's got a push. That means the front's not reacting to the amount of steering he's putting into the car, and if he was to get into traffic, that would be worse. Now, this year they do have a different system on there. They have a front shock on the front that also allows you to go ahead and change the roll bar. They have some adjustments inside the car, new this year, so he'll be working with that inside adjustments to try and get the car just a little bit better.
You heard the name Chesson a little bit earlier. James Chesson running 12th. Well, down in the pits, his brother PJ, who's going to be running Sunday, is with Dr. Jerry Punch.
And Right now, PJ Chesson is James Chesson's biggest cheerleader. When they come by, he's jumping out. Hey, PJ, you're pretty excited about what James has got going on here right now.
Yeah, I'm James' biggest fan. I got to be nice to him. He's my spotter, so I'm so proud of him getting this opportunity to drive in the Pro Series. That was the goal for both of us, to try and get back here. So I clawed my way in and hopefully helped him get his opportunity, and now he's doing it. So look for him to be at the front of this baby here soon.
You won back-to-back races in this series, driving for Mo and Catherine Nunn. It's what got you the ride in IndyCar with Ron Himmelgarn and Carmelo Anthony. How important is this series for these guys to be able to get a shot at IndyCar?
It's very important because, believe it or not, all the owners and a lot of the drivers are watching this race, and they get an idea of who can drive and who can't. And it's really important that they're out here, they use their heads, they log every lap, and they work, and they're aggressive, and they know when to go and know when not to go. So I think James is doing a really good job right now, and I just want to see him finish this and be in the game in the end.
Well, let's get back to cheerleading, man. Thanks.
All right, thanks a lot. Go, James!
PJ Chesson will start 20th on Sunday. By the way, he finished second to his brother in this series in California 2 years ago. The only 1-2 by brothers in the history of Indy Pro Series.
Oh, and he is taking a bonsai attack heading into 3. Can he make it stick? Whoa! He got one spot.
Very gutsy move. I mean, a nice run. He got the draft from those 2 cars in front that poked a big hole in the air for him, and ended up making a nice move going into 3 and made it stick right down on the low side. Nice move.
That was Tice Carlson that he went around, and right now he's chasing the man with our onboard camera. That's Bobby Wilson right in front of him, and that is a position for 10th.
You know, Marty, I was talking to these guys. You know, there's 7 IRL teams that are involved with these cars out here. The rest of them are single core operations. That's a lot of information going back and forth from the IRL series cars to these cars. And as you can tell, there's a lot of driver development going on. You know, we reported earlier that Cunningham is reporting a severe push. It doesn't seem to be hurting him much, though.
More action going on further back in the pack. You heard that name, Tice Carlson. Of course, he was a 2-time Indy 500 starter back in 97 and 99. Right now, we go back to the battle up front because the top 2 are trying to pull away from 3rd place. It's Wade Cunningham in front of Jay Howard, and Jaime Camara has fallen about 4 seconds behind 2nd place. Heading down into turn 3, in lockstep, the margin about 0.2 of a second. Jerry, you've got more?
Well, guys, the car that's running second, the white car number 7 of Jay Howard, the Lucas Oil Machine. This young man is very, very impressive. In fact, as you watch him now moving in on Wade Cunningham, a lot of the IndyCar owners are saying he could be the next guy to make a move to IndyCar. Right now, he's making a move to the front of the field in turn 1, and Howard makes it stick. And let me tell you where he came from, guys. A year ago, he ran the Formula Z-Tech Series, and he broke the record in that series for wins in a season. He had 9 wins. The previous record was 6 wins in a year, set by Dan Weldon. They said no one had dominated that series like Dan Weldon had until this guy came along a year ago. Watch out for Jay Howard in future years here at IndyCar.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wade Cunningham took a look on the outside, thought better of it. But you're right about the 25-year-old Jay Howard. Basildon, England is home for him. Only his 4th start in this series. He finished 2nd in both races back at St. Petersburg. And here comes another pass for the lead. Cunningham drafting down the front straightaway, heading towards 1. Can he make it stick? He does. So, in more than just a little over a lap, we've had 2 lead changes. Back here at the Freedom 100 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we've had a great battle going on up front between Wade Cunningham, who has the lead right now in the number 1, followed by the number 7 of Jay Howard. Jaime Camara is in 3rd, and they have checked out on the rest of the field.
Well, this little battle they had for 1st and 2nd allowed Jaime Camara to have an opportunity to start to catch back up. But as long as they stay single file right now, it's going to be difficult for those guys to really get an opportunity to catch up and maybe make a move. Cunningham doing such a great job. If he's going to continue checking out like this and making no mistakes, that's called the perfect run, Rusty. And if he can hit his marks on entry, hit his apex, and hit his exit points, it might be tough for these guys to catch up to him.
Scott, you're exactly right. These cars are all about driver finesse. They don't have any horsepower to speak of. 420 horsepower. They're about 35 miles per hour on top speed. off of the IRL cars. I was looking a little while ago, you know, but the one thing I really find amazing, though, they're within 80 pounds of an IRL car, which is a good, this series is a great feeder series for these IRL cars and the developed drivers.
And the thing that I like about it is it goes to all the tracks, a lot of the tracks that the IRL Indy cars run on, and to have the opportunity to come here and race at the Indianapolis 500 track. With all the history that's here, with all the great drivers and finishes that have been at this particular track, to come here in a junior car and train here, that is terrific. It wasn't until just a few years ago this started, and when you came here to run the Indy 500, you never had a chance to run this track in any type of car before here. So as a rookie, when I came here, it was just a major feat. These guys at least get a bit of a taste of what's going on.
That is a great assessment. To be able to come to Indy and win Indy in any type of division of a car, I will tell you, it's awesome. And you got awful close, got Goodyear 2 times, and I mean that in a positive way. In fact, I think one of these things you hadn't won until you had a penalty. But look at this graphic here. 1,460 pounds for an Indy Pro Series car, 1,525 for an Indy car, Scott.
And they both are normally aspirated engines, so the drivers really get an opportunity to feel what it's like with these cars. Now, yes, there's a difference, obviously, in the horsepower, as you can see, and quite a difference there. Now, obviously, different fuel loads, and they run on gasoline versus the ethanol-methanol blend, but a big change in, obviously, the cost also.
Let's get more from Dr. Jerry Punch.
You not only saw how inexpensive it is, if that you consider that inexpensive to get into this series and be able to run oval track racing, but the primary reason Tony George wanted to start this series is names like Jeff Gordon or Ryan Newman or Casey Kane. Those are drivers who grew up in the short tracks running midgets and sprint cars and Silver Crown cars, or even Tony Stewart for that matter. And really, in order to get super speedway oval track experience after those short tracks, they had to go run NASCAR, the NASCAR Busch Series or NASCAR Cup. This series here allows young drivers who have run Formula 3000, Formula Ford Z-Tech, or a midget or sprint car driver like Tice Carlson to be able to come here and get oval track experience in an Indy car and then make that next step. This was a much-needed series to be able to help the IRL IndyCar Series, much like the Busch Series does the NASCAR's Nextel Cup.
Well, you mentioned how it's a great feeder system, Doc. It certainly is. The list of graduates out of the Indy Pro Series. And remember, this is only the 4th season for it. Here's Marco Andretti, Ed Carpenter, who won this race back in 2003 in its inaugural running. P.J. Chesson, you already heard from him. Ari Lyondike Jr., Thiago Medeiros, who won this race in 2004, and Jeff Simmons, who was running this series until he got the call to move up to Ray Hall Letterman Racing. So it's doing exactly what AAA baseball does on the major league level.
Marty, that tells a story, doesn't it? Everything you just said, all these guys are in IRL, and this is a wonderful series to start that out.
This is the 49th race since the series started. Take a look at these speeds. I mean, these guys are running some very consistent race laps at 185 and change, and these two have sort of checked out. As in a distant third, there is Jaime Camara. Now let's drop back to the battle. 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's Alex Lloyd, Chris Festa, and then Sean Guthrie.
And Marty, you were talking about speeds, and there you can see the seconds behind the leader for Chris Festa. You know, they're running 185 miles an hour. They qualified at 186, the leaders did. But, Rusty, I got a little bit of trivia here for you. I don't know if you knew this, but the 2005 Nextel Cup pole was 184.1 miles an hour. And these guys around here are going 186.423 for the pole. They go faster than those stock car things that you guys drive around
Well, you hit me over the head on that one. But, you know, there's one thing about this style of racing. There's no pit stops allowed during this race. They're not going to have any stops at all.
Yeah, if you stop, you're done. In fact, we just heard that John Herb has pulled into the pit, so that's going to hurt him. He's obviously got a problem. Stay with us. This race is far from its conclusion. We've got battles all over the racetrack. Right now, though, look at Wade Cunningham. He has opened up a bigger lead over Jay Howard. It is over 1 full second. There's your top 5 here at the Freedom 100.
My most memorable sporting moment was in 1983 when Alan Bond won the America's Cup in Australia 2, beating Dennis Conner in Liberty. That's one of the greatest sailing moments of my life.
The 1995 AFL Grand Final, when the Blue Boys hammered the Cats by about 65 points and became the #1 premiership team in the comp. I think still are. Awesome.
Back here in Indianapolis. It's the Freedom 100, the Indy Pro Series. As you're looking at our race leader, that is Wade Cunningham. He has opened up a 1.5 second lead over Jay Howard. We have just passed the halfway mark. In fact, we're working lap 23 of 40. There's Jay as he goes through turn 2. And one of the men who have graduated from this series into the IndyCar series is with Jamie Little.
That's right. Jeff Simmons wasn't planning on graduating early. He was actually planning on running this entire series when he got a call from Bobby Rahal to fill the number 17 ethanol car. And Jeff, what is it like to go from the IndyCar Pro Series to IndyCar? What are some of the adjustments you've had to make in the last month and a half?
Well, the cars are fairly different. Obviously, you're dealing with a lot more speed, and you know, all of your mistakes are amplified, and you know, you really need to stay on top of things, and you got less time to react to everything. So it's just it's more speed and all that. On this track, it's a handling track for both of us, though. So there's a lot of similarities here.
Now tell us about your replacement, Bobby Wilson. We're watching him right now. I don't know if you had a chance to see that warm-up lap when he spun out.
No, I missed that. We were going over the stuff from our warm-up, from our last little run here on Carb Day, and I didn't get to see that, but I'll have to give him a little bit of grief later on.
Now, we were talking about this being the feeder series and how the owners of teams in IndyCar watch you guys. Did you find that to be true for you?
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, it was the good run that we had late last year that really helped me to get this ride. Obviously, you know, Paul Dana's passing was the main factor in this becoming available and all that, and that's been difficult. But it was certainly I knew that the guys had an eye on me after I won a lot of races last year.
Well, he has 7 wins, including 1 at Homestead, and he's the current series points leader. But today, that's going to end, and we'll see Jeff Simmons in the 17 car on Sunday. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
I'll tell you, Jamie, while you were talking, his driver, Bobby Wilson, was doing a fine job. He got around Jonathan Klein, and Bobby's moved up to 7th place, and then Klein and Guthrie are duking it out. Here comes the 33 car of Jeff Dodge as well.
Now, Jeff Dodge is a story because his motor was going south actually during qualifying. He didn't really get a chance to even get out and practice or run. And here he is wheel to wheel right now. Will they make it through? So he did not post a time in qualifying, but he had to start at the very back, and he's starting to work his way through, guys. A nice, clean work for him.
So he is now up to the 9th position. And so they are running a race record pace. I think another one of our former winners is down the pit lane, Jerry. Or Jack, I'm sorry.
Well, actually, it's a guy that 2 years ago won this race, Tiago Madero, signing autographs and getting ready for his appearance in the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500. Tiago, just a couple of years ago, you were out there running, and now you're going to make your first Indy 500 start.
I mean, definitely was a big advantage to be able to race here in the Pro Series, and then you learn everything in this track. And then when you jump to IndyCar, you go to a car that's better grip, better downforce, better tires. I mean, it's a proportional jump, so it's not scared of it. I mean, those cars, I mean, it's a great city. You learn everything, and learn how to run side by side with each other and respect your competitors, and that's what IndyCar is all about.
Fellas, let me update you. Remember the last time we visited with the PDM team, the car was just all apart, and it had just primer and various things. It's been repainted and rechristened. This car now is called Pots and Pans 2 in tribute to A.J. Watson, who back in 1948 brought a homemade car to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that was dubbed Pots and Pans 1. This is definitely old school here, boys.
Yeah, and I'm sort of disappointed that they repainted it, because, I mean, what a legacy. 12 different cars went into making that chassis work and getting it into the show. I mean, I know the sponsors want it to look nice, but I thought the story was better with all those different colors all over it.
It certainly stood out in the track. It was easy for us to find come race day.
It definitely was. There was no two like it by any stretch. Meanwhile, there's Jonathan Klein as he continues. He's in 8th place right now.
Well, as we've been speaking, Howard in the 2nd place has been running out in Cunningham about a 1/10 of a second a lap. For a long time, Cunningham was running 48.60s, was about 185 miles an hour every single lap, and now the tires are starting to go off a little bit. He's lost a couple 10ths of a second, about a mile per hour in the racetrack. The tires are starting to wear.
Here they come down the front straightaway. We'll get another time as they come by. It's now down to 0.6 of a second between the two. It was at one point over 1.5 seconds between Cunningham back to Howard. And take a look, Cunningham slower than the last time we checked his speed.
Wonder if actually he's starting to make a mistake. Sometimes you push. You just saw him looking there in the mirror going down the straightway. Jay Howard just wants to make sure he stays directly in line to get draft on him.
And there's a problem for James Chesson because, as we told you, if you come into the pits, it's usually a major issue because there are no scheduled pit stops. So bad news for PJ's brother. Jerry, you've got more?
Yeah, James Chesson has brought his car to a halt here on pit road, and apparently he thought he may have cut a tire. They are checking the air pressure in the right rear tire here. Wondered if he may have run over something on the racetrack. They had a little bit of a vibration. They weren't sure if the tire was going down or if he may have cut it. So they're going to come in and make a couple of adjustments here. Tough break for James Chesson, who was making his move from the middle of the pack toward the top 10.
All right, thanks, Doc. As you can tell with the split screen, you can see the battle for fourth still brewing. That's Lloyd, Festa, and Wood all lockstep. They're trying to find a place to make the pass. Man, getting a little dicey. That's the 41 car of Sean Guthrie on the high side. Whoa! I don't think that he saw him until the last minute there. Made the dart to the left, and these guys still going side by side through the corners.
That's 33 of Jeff Dodge still moving his way up. When I spoke to him the other day, he says, you know something, I've been doing all this open wheel stuff and going around to different short tracks around the country. What a dream come true to come to this racetrack and have an opportunity to run at the Indianapolis 500 Speedway.
Well, as they continue to motor at over 184 miles an hour around the 2.5-mile oval here at Indianapolis, we're going to step aside, but we're far from finished. We're working lap 31. There's 9 laps to go. There you see. First through fifth here at the Freedom 100. Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the laps are winding down on the Freedom 100, and you're looking at Wade Cunningham, the second car in line. That's lap traffic in front of him, and it is giving him a bit of a fit as the 3-car finally steps aside. That's Van Blankers, Brett Van Blankers, the 19-year-old who qualified 16th. He goes a lap down. The white car is Jay Howard. He is in second place. He had fallen behind. We had just noticed while we were in the commercial break, Cunningham had turned the best lap of the race, guys, at 186.4. We thought his tires were going away, and he turned up the wick.
Turns up the wick, but that lap traffic there certainly just cost Jay Howard an opportunity to keep in the draft. Wade Cunningham, who's now actually got a bit of a break, and with like 7 laps to go, that is a huge part of this race right now, because that might have made it to a point where he will not have an opportunity to catch him, Rusty.
Scott, it looks to me like Cunningham is just, his front end is just right on the edge. If he misses his entry turning just a little bit, he loses a nose in that car, because we've been watching the lap times. All of a sudden you think his tires are going off. He has a slow lap time, then he comes back and picks up a big lap like he just did right now. He lost almost a second that last lap from 186.5 all the way down to 182 some miles per hour. So if he loses that front end a little bit, boy, I tell you what, it goes right away on him.
Now we have to remember, he did go around lap traffic in that lap, so that might be the reason for that 182 falling off 4 miles an hour. We'll have to give him this clean lap now to see sort of where he's at.
So while this battle continues up front, Jeff Dodge is running back in the 9th spot right now, trying to pick up some ground. Jerry, you've got more?
Marty, Jeff Dodge earned an opportunity to run in this series by being the youngest finishing rookie, older than 18, at the Fast Track to Indy program this past year at the 45th Annual Knoxville Nationals for Sprint Cars. It's a unique program between the IRL and the Knoxville Nationals. The highest finishing rookie, who's 18 or older, gets a chance to run 6 oval track events fully sponsored by them and the IRL in this series. And Jeff Dodge is trying to make the best of it here, hanging to the top 10. And oh, by the way, Jeff Dodge's family, big race fans. When his mother was in labor and his dad was with her, they were watching an IMSA race, trying to decide what to name the baby. His dad said, whoever wins this race, we're going to name our son after him. Turned out it was Jeff Grabham who won the race, and thus we have Jeff Dodge. Yes, and I'm just glad that it wasn't Janet Guthrie or Lynn St. James.
And he does spell it the same way as Jeff Grabham, J-E-O-F-F, and you saw him getting around the lap traffic of Phil Giebler just a little bit earlier. While this action continues, Jamie is back in the pits. Get an update on Eddie Cheever.
Well, he's watching his 2 drivers right now. sitting in 5th position, Chris Festa in the 51 car. Eddie, this year all of a sudden you decided to pick it up and buy 2 cars in this series. What kind of benefit does an owner get owning a team in the Indy Pro Series?
I think it's a good place to train mechanics, a great place to train drivers. And the drivers get to run at the speedway. At the end of the day, that's what you're looking for in a driver, to drive in the IRL.
Are you looking for a driver like that you can perhaps bump up to the IndyCar Series maybe next year or the following year?
I think it's very difficult to say when the right moment is to put a driver in the car, but we're watching our 2 drivers, Chris and Nick, and I think every mile you do around here, it helps. So we're not having that great of a day, but it's not that bad. He's sitting in 5th.
Eddie Cheever, multitasking, decided to get back in the car for the Indianapolis 500 and buy a team in the Indy Pro Series, guys.
And while you were talking to Eddie, Tom Waringa had a brush with the wall. Take a look on the replay. The white car heading out of the groove.
Just up in the gray, just kisses the end of that safer barrier, but you know something? He just keeps on going. I guess no harm, no foul. Now, he's only got a few more laps left in this race, so as he's white-walled the tires, hopefully he doesn't have any suspension situations there where he might break a suspension part rusty and cause an accident.
Scott, you hit the nail on the head when you said just kissing the wall. That was just a kiss right there. I didn't even see that thing bounce off the wall. I just went up, put black marks down the side, and that was it.
All right, let's go back to the battle up front because it's getting interesting again. There is Wade Cunningham and Jay Howard. As look at the race speed today. Also, before all the English teachers call me up, Scott pointed out it's Jeff, G-E-O-F-F. I think I said J accidentally, so I want to make sure that English teachers know I know how to spell. Here we go as the laps are winding down.
This is good, guys. Right here, he's got the draft.
Can he make it stick going down into 1? Howard's on the low side, and he is sliding up. Oh, he's got it.
That's not nice. Boy, he pushed himself up there not to give him any space. He said, look out, I'm coming through.
Well, he waited on it, then he stood on it, and he passed him in the right time. 2 laps to go right now. This is going to be a drag race to the end.
Down the back straightaway, and now Howard trying to open up some air. But will Cunningham be able to pick up the draft? You know, this is the one thing you talked about in the keys to the race, Scott. Drafting is something they don't get this kind of track because they don't run on a track as big as this.
Boy, there's lots of maneuvering going on right now, but you know, these guys have to have the patience to get the end. As we also talked about, you cannot block, you cannot do the maneuvering like they're doing. Here we go, side by side.
White flag is out, and oh man, at the stripe, it was Wade Cunningham by 7/10,000ths of a second, and he goes into turn 1 on the high side. Can he make it stick? He's drifting high.
I can't believe they're side by side. Whoa, that's a bit of dirty pool.
Howard slides up on him, then dives back down. Now we're going down the back straightaway.
I don't know about dirty pool. I call that racing, Scott. Boy, he's doing some good driving right there.
Oh, you're used to fenders, son.
Come on now.
Here we go. It's going to be Cunningham on the outside heading into turn 3. He's got the line. Can he make it stick again through the north chute?
This will be a drag race right down to the stripe.
Coming out of turn 4. Here they come down the front stretch. And it's Wade Cunningham. Got a great exit off the corner. Howard is fading. It's over. It's Cunningham, his 2nd career win in the Indy Pro Series, and what a place to do it.
And I don't believe it. I would have promised that Howard had that thing. He passed him on the inside. I'd have thought the inside groove would have won the race, but that just goes to show you 420 horsepower. You got to keep these babies wound up, Scott. What a heck of a job holding them off.
You know, and he certainly keeps the whole thing true to the past in the sense where the pole sitter has won every event, and he now makes it 4 in a row.
And led the most laps by a ton. And that tradition continues as well, as it was a great race, the last couple of laps especially. No yellows throughout the entire course of the event. We are guaranteed of a race record by a bunch. Let's go back to the white flag lap. Take another look at this great last stage of this 100-mile event. There they are in the back of the screen, coming down the front straightaway. A different perspective as they head to the line.
They are. They're all coming up to the traffic, but Cunningham in the red car on your left-hand side looks like he gets a run. Reminds me of the 91 race between Mears and Michael Andretti and IndyCars going around each other on the outside of turn 1. Now here's the situation. The number 1 of Cunningham is going to duck underneath, and I would have thought he would have had a pass fully completed by turn 3. by the time they had the opportunity to get down to turn 3, and then we saw what happened in turn 3 and 4. Great racing.
Well, they're making their way towards victory lane, and we'll hear from all the competitors at that front. It is going to be good. Take a look. There's the top 10 at the Freedom 100, and we'll be back. Back here at Indianapolis, the Freedom 100 officially leading all 40 laps. Wade Cunningham, he's there with Jerry.
All right, he's in the car, getting ready to climb out, giving a big thumbs up to the media. And here comes a 21-year-old New Zealander. Let's listen in. All right, he climbs over here. Hey, he'll get a nice cold swig, and this one I think that's chocolate milk. So you get other kinds of milk on for the big one. Hey, congratulations! What about those last couple laps, Wade?
Oh, well, I was having major gearbox problems, and you know, I had a comfortable lead and everything was good, and the drive kept chattering, so to make the car very, very loose, and so Jay caught up, and you know, I knew if he was leading last lap, I still had enough to get by him because I passed him so much earlier in the race, but. You know, I honestly didn't think I was going to finish there, so I'm just super happy. Come for the win, and you know, it was a good race, and hats off to Jay, and you know, congrats to the Brian Stewart Racing team.
Now right here, he got in front of you in the corner here, and you're trying to make a run on him, and he comes back up and sort of chops you off. Did you think you were done, or did you know you had a shot?
Oh no, I knew he was going to go to the inside. It's the most logical place to go, but like I said before the race, turn 3's got a lot of grip on the outside, and that's how I was able to stick the move.
What does it mean for you as you come off and make that move on turn 3 and then are able to pull away and win? What does it mean for you to win here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Oh, well, last year this race was the one that got away, so I'm super happy to come back. Really my first race back this year, and just come back with a big win, so I'm super happy.
Now, you grew up in New Zealand. There's another driver down there by the name of Scott Dixon who you watched growing up. Could this be an omen for Scott? Maybe a double Kiwi win here on Friday and Sunday?
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, he deserves a good result. He's had a couple of tough years, but you know, he's back on top now, and hopefully he can do the same.
Hey, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Wade Cunningham, a former champion, last year's reigning champion in his series, dominates the day here, leading and winning the Freedom 100.
Back in March, he missed 2 rounds because of appendicitis at St. Petersburg. Now he's at the top at Indianapolis. I think he'll take that trade anytime. Stay with us. We've got more. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's time now for our Checkers Rallies pit stop competition as we are going to pick up the action in the semifinals. First off, we want to show you the brackets, show you how everybody has advanced to this point. It'll be the Helio Castroneves, who ended up being our number 1 seed alongside of Buddy Rice, the number 4 seed. Number 2 seed Dario Franchitti will go up against the number 6 seed Tony Kanaan. Now, there are penalties that come into effect here, guys.
We've talked about those penalties before in a situation where it's just like on race day. If you actually have a situation where you run over the air hose, or you actually have a gun that goes outside the surrounding perimeter box that you have, all those sort of things could be problems on race day because the other drivers might end up running over that equipment.
Well, Scott, a little while ago we saw a great pit stop out of Scott Dixon, only to be foiled by a 3-second penalty because the air gun was out of the box on a right rear tire.
And let's get more on that situation from Jamie Little.
Well, Buddy Rice was the driver. He and his crew benefited from that mistake on Scott Dixon's crew's part. Now, if you remember back to 2004, it was Buddy Rice and his crew who completed the triple sweep. Guys, they won the race, they won the pole, and they won the pit stop challenge. Now, this challenge is so important for the teams. They win $50,000, and the crew members, they put their all into it, and right now they're getting their second win here. They thought they were eliminated in the corners, and here they are in the semis, guys.
The total purse is $100,000. 50 of it, as you said, Jamie, goes to first place. It drops precipitously. Second place gets you $15,000. As you're getting ready now for Helio Castroneves, and he'll be on the right side of your screen. And let's quickly go through the process. They'll run up to the line, and you're racing the clock. You're not racing each other.
And I've done this before in this situation, and you know, you sort of, once they give you the green flag, you want to beat the competitor beside you, but it's best to get a nice smooth exit and a good run into the pit box, get over the timing line, which is just at the beginning of the pit box, let your crew do the work, and then the exit pit line is just on the far side of the pit box itself.
And let's talk about exactly what they have to change and do.
They got to do 4 tires, they got to simulate fuel, and they cannot smoke the tires too bad leaving the pit box. That's going to cost them a lot of time if they do that.
All right, clock will start when they cross the line right there. Here they go.
4 Firestone Firehawk tires, a simulated fuel hookup, which they've already done. A little slow on Rice's car.
Castroneves, 7.7 seconds. That is the best we have seen the entire day. As they went through the qualifying round, there were 10 cars that started.
No penalties on the north end, Lou.
There you heard, no penalties. Let's take a look at Elio's stop.
Nice and smooth. You know how well Penske, he just does things so great. Precision on all 4 corners. Perfect timing of dropping the car, and Elio was away.
It's just amazing how these guys are so smooth. They practice this and practice it. This team Penske is really on their game when it comes to this.
Let's go to Jerry.
All right, Rick Reineman here. Rick, 7.7 seconds, quickest time of the day. Now, what was the key to that stop?
Well, Elio hitting his marks, and we've practiced it all week. Elio actually did us all a favor. He came in on his day off and got in the car, and we were pushing him in and out of the front of the garage. So, you know, it's a team thing from the driver on down, and we got one more tough one.
You beat the time that won it all a year ago by almost 0.3 of a second. It's got to feel pretty good about that.
Well, it's only as good as the next one, and that's the one that that's the one we need.
Hey, good luck to you.
Thank you.
55-year-old Rick Reineman has been doing this for almost a decade and a half, and now you see how good he is and why he stays in that right front position. Vince?
Elio, nicely done. Hit your marks perfectly. Rick Reineman, your crew chief, gave you high marks. How did it feel for you?
They always tell me to hit the marks. They will be quick. Now I understand why. But, wow, those guys are unbelievable. It was an incredible time.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Let's keep going.
Well, it was Sam Hornish who won it last year for Team Penske. Can Elio do it? Well, we'll find out. Next up, it'll be Dario Franchitti up against Tony Kanaan. Memorial Day weekend means the greatest spectacle in racing. You can join us at the legendary Brickyard for the 90th running of the Indianapolis 500 telecast presented by Capital One. You'll see it all Sunday, May 28th at noon on ABC. All right, we know one of our finalists will be Elio Castroneves from Team Penske. And we also know it will be Andretti Green Racing, but will it be Dario Franchitti or Tony Kanaan? You want to know why we show you this? Well, these are the unsung heroes. Remember what happened with Dario Franchitti coming into the pits? That was Steve Price as he got hit in the pit lane, and he is not going to be going over the wall as a result of some injuries he sustained in that incident. Let's get more from Dr. Jerry Punch.
Yeah, Steve Price has ligament damage in the right knee, torn PCL in the right knee, will not be able to get back on pit road for probably another month and a half. They're borrowing a tire changer from Michael Andretti. They will have Lenny Gauci changing the left rear. He has a different colored uniform than anyone else on the Klein Tools crew that'll be watching Dario Franchitti. Guys?
Green flag flies. Remember, racing the clock, not each other. So it doesn't matter when you get into the box, it's when you get out of it.
Going head against each other on the team, that's going to have to be a situation where somebody from Andretti Green is going to go forward. Will it be Franchitti? Cleanly.
8.4 seconds for Dario Franchitti as they just flew through it. Now, remember, Elio Castroneves had 7.7 seconds. All right, let's wait for any potential penalties to be called as Dario climbs out.
No penalties here, Lou, in the pit box.
We just heard no penalties in the pits box. Clean stop. Boy, very smooth. Now on the other side, see if we can pick up what happened to Tony. They were a little bit off.
He stopped short. You see the guys actually had to start to shimmy their way back to get in front of the tire.
And then the left front with the jack.
Well, it goes wrong all the way from the very beginning. If you stop short of your marks and those guys have to move, their timing is off, and that was just wrong all the way from the entrance to the pit box.
Let's go to Jerry.
Well, Dave Popolars, despite having a guy down and missing a crew member, you guys got it done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Dario's driving real well, and we got a pretty good field of guys to dig into at the shop, and we dug one old guy out of mothballs, and he's helping us out on the left rear.
You're going to have to beat a 7-7 in this next round. What do you do? Where do you make up for time?
Dario's driving it into the box, so we're going to have to find it on the wheels.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Vince?
Dario Franchitti. Hey, you guys have been struggling a little bit on the track, but you look like you're turning it around here in the pit stop competition.
Yeah, we had a good day today. We felt the Klein Tools Canadian Club car was fast and a good balance in the warm-up, essentially. The guys have just been smoking it here. We're struggling a wee bit because with the accident we had in Japan, we're missing Steve Price off the left rear, and we're feeling that today, but he's over there and he's cheering us on.
Good luck in the final.
Thank you.
Yeah, as a driver, Scott, you had mentioned it to us. We're going to commercial break, but you had said it weighs on a driver's mind. This would be a great payback if Dario can pull this off for his team. Stay with us. Find out who wins.
Log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com and you're ready to begin your road to Germany and the 2006 World Cup. Get all the fixtures with ESPN SoccerNet's exclusive printable wall chart. Log on and you'll have access to the net's most extensive coverage of the World Cup, including Gamecast, which has full coverage of every kick of the competition. News updated all day long to keep you informed. Motion has video clips from Germany 24 hours a day. Join in on fan blogs from all 32 teams. Read the expert analysis and commentary. Every player profiled with stats updated in a flash. Picture galleries each and every day. You can go interactive by voting on player ratings. Chat live with the SoccerNet team. Anything and everything you'll need to follow the 2006 World Cup can be found on ESPNSoccerNet.com. Log on today.
ESPN2's presentation of the Indianapolis 500 Carb Day is presented by Checkers and Rallies, the official burger of the Indianapolis 500. And in part by Eagle One, the most advanced way to clean, shine, and protect your car. Back here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we are getting ready for the finals between Helio Castroneves of Team Penske and Dario Franchitti with Andretti Green Racing. Let's check in with Jerry Punch.
No one knows Dario Franchitti's team better than this guy right here, Steve Price. You saw the injury at Motegi, the torn ligaments in his right knee. And Steve, what's it going to take for your boy Lenny, who's subbing for you today, doing a pretty good job? What's it going to take for them to beat this Penske team?
Just consistency. Be real consistent. Don't think about it. Just let nature do its course, because once you've done it once, it's habit. Just be smooth. That's it. Stay calm, be smooth.
All right, we'll see if they can pull it off. They're going to have to beat us 7.7 seconds, and that's going to be awfully hard to do, guys.
Well, Doc, Helio Castroneves, back in 2002, he won this pit stop challenge and went on to win the race. So right now he's thinking if he treats his crew members well and wins this baby, they'll treat him well on Sunday and perhaps bring home his third Indianapolis 500 victory. Marty?
Scott, you've been in this situation. You know more than anyone what it's like to be the driver. You want to win this for your crew.
You do, and it's because the crew does such a great job throughout the month of May. They're the ones that stayed late when things are going on back in the garages, and you feel more pressure to get this done right for your crew than yourself. And we've won the thing twice, and it's just a great feeling to see the guys jump up and down because they get the payday on this, not the driver.
This is all about the pit crew. It's all about the pit crew. But the driver messes up, it's going to be a long night thinking about it, I'll tell you.
Green flag flies. Remember, the clock starts when they pull into the box. A $35,000 difference between first and second place. Watch the clocks, watch the crews. Castroneves at 8.08 seconds, Franchitti at 8.44 seconds, which means for the 9th time, Team Penske is going to win this. And, oh, if the omen is true again, look out for Castroneves on race day.
That was such a close one right there. That one was hard to call, Marty. Both teams were excellent. Both of them deserved to win, but Castroneves just by a little bit.
Let's go back and take another look. Both cars very smooth here.
You can perfect stop on the marks. You heard the tires locking up. That means he had speed getting into the pit box. All the work is done very quickly, and a beautiful exit by the driver.
No penalties in the boxes, Lou.
So no penalties, so it's going to stand. Boy, just that narrative. Spider-Man's at it again.
He's getting a little practice. He thinks he can win this thing on Sunday, the 90th run of the Indy 500. He's already practicing on that fence. But you talk about consistency. His last run, the run before last, is 7.73, and this last one, an 8.08. Really good times, real consistent.
Let's go to Jerry.
All right, the man they call the captain steers his ship to another pit stop competition championship. Roger, congratulations.
Well, I'll tell you, what a team. This guy's, whether it's Helio's team or Sam's. Last year, Sam won. This year, we're sorry we didn't go head-to-head with him, but real precision. This gives us more momentum going into the race on Sunday.
It seems like this day gives a lot of teams momentum for what happens on Sunday. 2 years ago, Buddy Rice won this and won the race. Obviously, you got two good cars. Are you guys the guys to beat on Sunday's Indy 500?
We'll just have to see. I think we got two good cars, but, you know, we got a lot of good competition here, Jerry. We just have to see, not make mistakes again on race day.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's head over and let's see what Helio Castroneves has come off the fence, Vince.
Well, congratulations. How happy are you to win the preliminary to the big one on Sunday?
Oh my goodness, I mean, this is awesome for my guys. I mean, they show every race weekend that they're fantastic, and today it's basically the real deal, and that was awesome. I learned a lot with those guys. They tell me to hit the mark. Now I understand why, so good job, guys. I love you guys.
Why climb the fence today?
I mean, I did this when I won probably 3 years ago, and I could not make that, not happen. You know, it's like a victory. I know it's not the race, but for those guys, it is actually a good race. So, well done, guys. Let's keep now doing the same thing Sunday.
I'll do the same thing.
All right, down here with Rick Reineman, who is still getting congratulations. And Rick, and here's the whole crew. Get all the guys in here back here, Rick. These are the guys that pulled it off. 7.7 seconds in the semifinals, just over 8 seconds there. Congratulations.
Yeah, we slowed down there the last one, but we wanted to make sure that everything went as smooth as could be. You back it down a little bit, and it seems like it goes faster. What an effort by these guys. It's fantastic.
How much do you guys practice? I know it's really a point of pride for this Team Penske guys to come out and be able to make these stops. I know you spend a lot of time. How many hours a week do you guys do this?
Let me tell you, when this is over tomorrow, we got to get ready for the pit stop competition next year. And when we're back at the shop over the winter, we practice the pit stop competition with nobody rolling tires in. And I mean, it starts in the winter. And like I said, this past week, Helio took his day off to come in and sit in the car just so he could get used to stopping on the marks. What a team effort. These guys, can't be more proud of them.
And right behind you, they're going to give you a $50,000 check. Rick Reineman and these guys have gotten it done. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, Dario Franchitti and his crew come in second. And Dario, you guys were struggling throughout the month, but today your guys stepped up. How much does this practice and this challenge help you guys for Sunday?
Quite a lot. It's been a good day, actually. The car felt very good this morning in final practice there, so it's been good, and they did very well. 0.4 of a second or something. We lost it by, but the pit stops were consistent. They were good, and I'm really proud of them.
It's good to see a smile on Dario Franchitti's face heading into Sunday. Marty.
All right, thanks. And you want to talk about the omen that maybe winning can bring you? In 1981, Bobby Unser won the pit stop competition, went on to win the race, as did Danny Sullivan, Jacques Villeneuve, Helio Castroneves in 02, and Buddy Rice in 2004. Final thoughts, guys, as we head towards the big day now on Sunday?
Well, this was a lot of pressure today for the teams participating in this event, but I can tell you something. The next day and a half leading up to the Indianapolis 500 is pressure on everybody, the complete team, the guys in the garage, making sure that everything is on that car. Last preparations, there cannot be any nut and bolt wrong, any loose clamp. That'll put them out of the race. That's the pressure on the teams right now.
I'm going to add another guy to my I think I can do it list, and that's Dario. I like his attitude right now. The other day he was down, he was mad. Now he's up. He says his car's handling good. He's doing great. Talk about practice and talk about pit stop practice. Before I went to Homestead Test and I went up to the Penske shop to get understanding of the Indy cars, they were practicing pit stops back then, Scott.
So now for Sam Hornish, who was the quickest in practice, Wade Cunningham, who won the Freedom 100, and now we add Helio Castroneves with the Checker Rally's pit stop competition win. Don't forget, Sunday, Indianapolis 500 telecast presented by Capital One, noon Eastern, for the 90th running here at the Brickyard. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next, it's Sports Center right here at Indy with Dr. Jerry Punch, Scott Goodyear, and Rusty Wallace is going to be on that as well. $50,000 goes to the crew. We'll see you on Sunday.